Hey guys, Dylan Kingsbury here. Thanks for checking out the blog. I wanted to take a little bit of time to do a case study on something that I did back in March. This was when Teespring was really hot, and I decided to try to test it out. Now, I only really ran Teespring for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. In that month and a half, we grossed, myself personally, probably about $200,000, something like that. So I wanted to do a case study for you guys. Now that was gross. That's not including advertising dollars or anything like that. My actual net income was roughly like 150, 160,000, which, you know, is not too bad, especially for a month. So I wanted to do a quick case study for everybody, so that you could see exactly what I did, how I did it, and how you can replicate it in your business. So I'm gonna hop into the computer here, and I will go through everything with you. Hey guys, Dylan Kingsbury here. This is going to be the case study video for my Teespring campaigns that I was running. Now, there's really no layout for this video. Okay, I have no idea how long it's going to be. It could be 4 minutes, it could be 25 minutes, it could be 3 hours. I'm not sure. It's as long as I can really talk about things. To me, everything that we're covering in this video is common sense. Everything that we're covering in this video is easy to do and easy to duplicate. To you, it may not be so. Now, I have to try to remember that, and you have to try to remind me of that. Okay, so when you see this video, if you have any questions, write those questions down, and you can get back to me, and I can just touch base with you one-on-one. All right, because like I said, to me this is common sense, but common sense isn't very common, especially when you're talking about certain things that people haven't done. Okay, like this will be common sense for you as soon as you do it and you get the feel for it, but until that point it may not be so. Okay, so just remember throughout the video, if you have any questions, anything at all, write it down. Hit me on Facebook. Everybody here should have my Skype, so hit me on Skype and we'll go through everything one-on-one together. Okay, so I'm just going to start on the Get Paid page just to show you how many campaigns that I was running. Okay, now I'll open one of the campaigns so you can see. So this was the shirt. This was the design that we came up with. We were running names at that point, but this was basically the design that did $150,000 in sales for us. All right. Now let me show you how many designs we ran, and I'll go somewhat slowly so you can see these are all the exact same. Okay, so that's how we scaled. You can see a payout here for $43,000, and then keep going. Payout here for $41,000, and then more and more as you go down. 5,700, 5,800, 6,300, 51, 83, 37, 32, 96, etc., etc. Okay, so like I said, these shirts were some of the first that I had hit. So in a sense we got lucky, but at the same time this was very carefully planned. Okay, we had run a few things prior to, like a firefighter shirt, firefighter pride, find them hot, leave them wet. So it's a little sexual innuendo, and it's a obviously a profession shirt. Did relatively well. I think we only had like 80% ROI on it, something like that, but you know, it did better than a lot of shirts do. So, but this is the thing to keep in mind. There's going to be very few shirts that you're going to run that are going to have 1,000 sales or 4,000 sales or however many thousands of sales. Okay, you're not going to run a single shirt and make $55,000 off of it. Well, you could, but it's going to be extremely rare. Okay, the idea, and this is echoed in FB Ads Cracked, is to find shirts that you can scale and scale quickly by subbing out a variable or two within the actual shirt. Okay, now you can see by my design, I do not like designs that have graphics. Okay, so literally the only thing I would have to do, let me open up a few of these for you. The only thing that I would do, or I wouldn't even do it, my assistant would do it, is sub out the name. Okay, so you can see every single one. And these aren't killers, right? I'm not making thousands of dollars off each shirt like some people are, some people claim. But I am making $238 when I put in 60, okay? Or $528 or $20 when I put in 110. You see what I'm saying? So there are not very few, but a small portion of them are clearing $1,000 or clearing, you know, $2,000. I think this was my biggest shirt in this little stretch was this one here that did $4,000 in sales. Okay. Now, like I said, the thing you have to remember is scale and scale quickly. Okay. When you hit a design, you want to blow that design up. You want to be able to scale it by a certain variable, one variable or two, but you want to do that quickly. Okay. Everything is templated. This was templated. My assistant would copy and paste it. This was templated. So the design was pre-done. All she had to do was sub out Bell for Lawson or what have you. This whole thing templated. All they have to do is come in here and take out Lawson and put in, you know, Wilson or McGuire or whatever name we want to put in. And we know that there's 5 instances of that name in this shirt or in this page. Okay. So you have to make sure that everything is done and templated. That way it's a system, right? It's a step-by-step, do this, do this, do this, do that. And that's how we get through and we blow things up and we make big money. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask this question, so I'll get it out in the open right away. All these shirts were done on a single Facebook page. Just one Facebook page. Now I'll go into Facebook quickly to show you the page. You can see Keep Calm Tees right here. Oh no, sorry, that wasn't the right page. I drink for St. Patrick's Day. That's the page. Every single thing was run through this page. We got 15,116 likes. You can see we were doing little tests like this. This actually ran for like a day. We didn't really run it. But the majority of them were dark posts. These ones weren't really run. I think this one was. Yeah, you could tell obviously by the reach. Not bad organic, 57%. But other than that, everything was dark posted, right? So let's go to see all. Oh, it's because we deleted them. Anyway, everything was a dark post. Okay, so that's why they're not right here. Alright, now you could see the ads that we were using. Very, very straightforward, right? Now, with this, we didn't want to make any references to click here or a name or anything in the banner graphic because we didn't want Facebook denying these ads. Okay, we don't want them denying it because it says click here, because a lot of times Facebook would deny the ad because they would say it looked like a button or something similar, right? So stay away from that. Now, the thought process here was 2 colors that contrast. Obviously, the green is for St. Paddy's Day. The yellow, it's just going to contrast well, right? Blow the shirts up, especially if you have text. This is one thing a lot of people screw up. They're putting out shirts that have text on them and making the shirts super, super itty-bitty. Okay? People aren't going to be able to see that. People aren't going to be able to read it. Alright, so make sure you blow that shirt up so that they can see everything on there. Okay, now what I did, I redirected everything. You can see this isn't going to go anywhere anymore. But, oh, yeah, actually it will. Yeah, see, this was just a test. We didn't run this shirt. But I would redirect everything. Okay, so that way I would use something called Link Tracker, which you can see right here. Okay, well I canceled the account, but I guess it's still kind of tracking. You can see I'm not running anything right now, but this is where all of our campaigns came through. So let's do this year just to see how much traffic we sent. So these are the clicks that we would send, and you can see I sent this mainly in March, okay, right? Because I've gotten away from the Teespring model, I've moved on to other things, so I'm not redirecting anything through this campaign, and I can't use keepcalmtees.net as a domain anymore. So this is just to show you how many clicks we were sending to some of these campaigns. So 2,389 clicks. So let's just see what that turned into, just for the hell of it. So Shaw sold 125 shirts in 2,000 clicks. Okay, so nice and easy, nothing too difficult there. Now let's go back. Let's go back. You can see I'm not really running anything right now. These are all just little tests that we threw out that didn't really pan out. Let's jump over. That's another one that we were testing. We did really well with these name campaigns. The thing that I loved about names is that it's just easy to sub out text, right? Which is why we were running everything. We were trying all these different designs just so we could scale them even further. Okay, now if you're doing designs that you're trying to base on actual design, don't make that design the variable. Okay, unless you can scale that particular one. So there's a lot of people going around with these shirts like keep calm and think straight, or this Texas girl loves George Strait, or something like that, right? And that's good, because you can scale by Texas and you can scale by George Strait, but you can infinitely scale that. And now let's put this out there quickly. That's good if you're willing to break trademark. Okay, I'm just using it as an example. I don't recommend you break trademark at all. We didn't break any trademarks. You can see we're just doing names on these ones, so that's obviously not going to break any sort of trademark. But make sure that you can scale by at least 1 or 2 variables, and you can do it quickly. Okay, now when I would do these campaigns, the only thing that I would do for the campaign is set up the ads. And if you're watching this video, you probably know that because you probably saw my first couple of videos. Now, let me show you quickly how we would set... Okay, actually, while I'm here, I'll just go through this. I forgot that I had this open. This is the ROI tracker that everybody's going to be getting. And I'll just show you how to use it quickly, because this was an integral piece to my success. Now, first of all, you can see this was a profit by day. I had a bit of a downfall on this day. You can see we had some issues. Actually, it was these 3 days that we had issues, but you can see we were doing $6,000 or $7,000 profit per day, 7,600, and yeah, it went really well. So basically what you do is you'll just copy this, and I have this in a .numbers as well as a .xls file, so regardless of the program that you're using, this should work for you. But all you're going to do is take this and scroll so you have this entire box in your selected area and copy it. Whoops. And then we'll go all the way to the end, well, to the end of the boxes that I have, and I'll just paste it there. And then in here I'll put the title. So let's say it's Lawson or something like that. Whatever, you know, if it's a Peyton Manning shirt or a Texas shirt or whatever, what have you, put the name there. And then throughout the day, all you're going to do is, so let's just say with this Lawson shirt, what I would always do is I would update my shirts sold at the end of the night. Okay, so I would update that right at midnight. But I wouldn't do my ad spend until the next morning, because the ad spend would turn over based on like I think it would turn over at midnight PST, which would be 3 a.m. my time, and I didn't want to stay up that long, because a lot of times it didn't spend my whole ad spend. I would have it at $250, it would spend 85 bucks. And you know, I obviously want to be as accurate as possible. So at midnight I'd come in, I'd say, okay, I sold 23 shirts today. right? My profit margin was typically $11.71 per shirt for these Keep Calm shirts. So I would say I sold 23 shirts. So I have a net profit right now of $269. How much did 23 shirts cost me to sell? Typically that would cost, let's say $65, right? And then tomorrow I would come in and do the same thing. So let's just fill this with some numbers right now. So $27.99, and then let's just put in 16, 9 or 8, and 21. Okay, so that's what a typical campaign, let's just say hypothetically, that's what it would look like. So what I'm seeing here is I've sold a gross of $269.33 worth of product. My profit from that is $204.33. So it's basically taking the shirt sold, multiplying it by the profit margin, which is giving me the earned, and then deducting the ad spend, which is giving me the net profit, and then we're figuring out the ROI with a complicated equation. Okay, now with these campaigns I was seeing ROIs of up to 3,000% per day. Whoops, we don't want that. But that's not going to be typical. A lot of times you'll see between 50%, 100%, 150%. So these are actual campaigns that we were running. So you can see, this one didn't do very well. I ran it for one day and I just wanted to see, and it, I got a positive ROI on it, but am I going to be able to scale it when it's that slow? Probably not. You can see this one was doing well, 15 shirts at $34, 400% ROI. So while I didn't run that campaign for very long and we didn't sell a lot of shirts, I spent $110 and I made $300, so I made $190 profit. Okay, actually, sorry, I made $299 profit because my total earned was $409, my total spent was $110. Okay, Lawson, which is the shirt that you saw, had 18 sales and $115 spent. Okay, so you can obviously see all the numbers here. Net profit, like this is towards the end of us running this. That's why these numbers are kind of skewed, because this was kind of when they had their big crackdown on names. So $277 profit there, $115 profit there. Now, so, and everybody should know this already, but the one thing that you have to focus on is ROI. If you can put $1 into this and get $1.10 back, then you're making money and you can scale that. Okay, if you're putting $1 in and you're getting 90 cents back, then you don't want to continue with that. All right, so I would focus anywhere between 50 and 150% ROI. Go with that. Make sure that you use this tool. This is going to be integral to your success. This is going to be probably the most useful thing that you have when it comes to Teespring, so make sure you use it. Okay, now let's jump over to the Photoshop portion of this, just so you can see what I was doing and how I had everything laid out, and you can see how quickly we would get these done. Okay, so these are all just every folder in here is a different idea or a different design that we would run. Okay, you can see Irish would be our Keep Calm shirts, because that was our whole point. We sold these right before St. Patty's Day. Okay, so let me just find one that has the proper files in it. That should work. Yes, that'll work just fine. Okay, so you can see this is our design. You're not going to be able to really see that, but you can see Keep Calm and Drink Like a Campbell. Okay, now what my assistant would do is open up this file. There we go. And I'll just bring up my layers, and I'm not recommending you do this. I'm going to give you videos to show your assistant how to do this for you, or to show a VA how to do this for you, or your mother or your daughter, or whoever you choose to get this to do, this. But what we would do is I would open the layers tab, I would hit on the background, that way I can actually see my text, right? Press T to highlight the text tool, and I'd come in here and I would sub this out. So let's just say it's Murray. That's it. That's how you scale, right? And then they would resave this, obviously hide the background, resave this as a PNG. Now I'm ready to make my campaign. Once I make my campaign, I open up my ad graphic. Okay, you can see for the first few shirts I was doing a tag on the back of the shirt, but all that did, I found that didn't increase my sales, but it did decrease my profit margins. Okay, so you don't want that. Now, what I would also do, like I said, is blow up these shirts. So Command T on a Mac, and I would scale them up nice and big, right? That's probably the perfect size right there, because my text is right above my little graphic down here, and you could still see the majority of the shirt. Okay, and then I would take, if I'm doing hoodies, I always put hoodies in here because they have the biggest margins. Alright, then I would take a t-shirt. Let's say this was probably one of my first campaigns, which is why I have this here. Whoops. Take a t-shirt and I'd scale that one up too. Right? That way everybody knows what they're getting. And all you have to do, obviously, you know, to create this graphic, I would go to Teespring, I'd grab my t-shirt, and or my assistant would go to Teespring, grab the t-shirt, paste it here, paste it there, right? And then sub out this name for whatever name it was, Murray, and then save that. Okay, and like I said, I was the one that would run the ads, so she would then take the JPEG, and the custom audience would already be uploaded, but she would take the JPEG and send that to me along with the link to the campaign, which she would already create a redirect. I'm going to open this actually. Sorry, I just saw this. This was our original ROI spreadsheet, so you can see how this one did. $94 spent, $330 earned, 250% ROI. Anyway, sorry to sidetrack. I just saw that there. But she would take the graphic, send that to me, as well as the link, and that's all I needed. Okay, I could do everything else myself, right? So just so you know how it's done, that's how it's done. But I'm going to be giving you everything that you need to send that to your outsourcer. Now, okay, so that covers the ad graphics. That covers that. There was something else that I wanted to bring up. Let me just go through Campbell. So the thing that I wanted to get into now was the actual creation of the campaigns. Now, this has changed slightly since we've run these campaigns, so it's going to be a little bit different, but you'll be able to see basically what we would do. Now, obviously I'm in Google Drive. Go Irish. Doesn't really matter because I always have my PNG here. Whoops. Scale this up a bit. You want to make sure you don't go too far down. I've had problems with it going over top of the pocket on the hoodies, right? And I would select that color. So that design is now done. Now, a lot of people are wondering what the sales goal I would put in would be, and you know what my profit per shirt would be and everything else. Okay, so my sales goal, I'm easy. I either did every single sales goal at 30 or 50 shirts. There's no sense in blowing it up to 100 shirts if you have no idea, first of all, how many you're going to sell, and second of all, if you lower it, you're not going to lose that much money anyway. Okay, so, and you're not gaining that much money if you make that amount, right? Keep it simple. Put it to 30 shirts. None of this matters. None of this matters, right? If I put it up here, so $11.11 is going to be my profit. If I put it to 30, $9.21 profit per sale. Sure, that's great, okay? And if I put it to 50, I'm making an extra 37 cents. That's fine. But if I'm at 30, right, and then I sell 50, I'm still going to get a cut of the difference between the profit margin of 30 shirts and the profit margin of 50 shirts. Okay? So don't worry about it too much. Put it something attainable. It's better than having to drop it every single time, and because you're going to miss some of those, right? I've missed them too, where I've sold 18 out of 30, and I wanted to drop it just to get my ad spend back, and then I miss it, or I put it in and they don't put it through. I put the drop request in, they don't put it through before my campaign expires, and then there's nothing they can do about it. So put it at something relatively attainable and go with that. Okay? Now, for the actual shirts, what I would do on every single shirt, put it to $21.50. This is just so you can see exactly. $11.71 is my profit per sale, just like I had right here. $11.71, right? So you can see this is just what I would do. Price it however you want to price it, but don't be afraid to increase your prices. I see a lot of people selling at $15.99, $17.99, $19.99. Doesn't matter. The difference between $17.99 and $19.99 is completely irrelevant to the customer, okay? Which is why we would do exactly this. So I would add a long sleeve. I would add not a tank top. I'd add a hoodie, and I'd add a woman's tee, okay? And then for some reason it's not giving me the right color. There were green women's tees before, so I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, I would increase my long sleeve from $21.50 to $29.50. So look at how much that gives me. That gives me an extra $8 per sale. And then I would increase my hoodies from $32.50 to $39.50. Right? So now I'm making $18 per sale, which is pretty darn good on a hoodie. Okay, let's just kill that. So I've increased my profit per sale by $7 or $8 on each of these. Alright? Again, don't be afraid to increase this even further if you want to. You may not get as many sales, but just because they come to your page and say, oh wow, that hoodie is $41.50, that's super expensive, but the t-shirt's only $21.50, I'm just going to get that, right? So you may be kind of talking them out of the super high price sale, but you're not necessarily talking them out of every sale. Sure, it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen the majority of the time. Okay, and I have no statistics to back that up. That's just theoretical. But I don't see people coming to the page and then leaving because the hoodie is too expensive. Okay, if they want something bad enough, they're going to get it regardless of what the price is, or they're going to get a version of it that they can afford. Okay, so this is what I would do, literally, every single time. The same 3 shirts. Actually, it was a lot more difficult back then. I would have my assistant email my contact at Teespring and have her sort it all out for me. So I would have that, and then I click next step. I would put this as something like, you know, keep calm Conway. Okay, and then like I said, this is all templated, so take that, paste it here, Conway, right? Take this, paste it here, and then change out all the boons for Conway. Okay? My campaigns, I would run 5 to 7 days, which is why you see my ROI tracker is a 7-day ROI tracker. Okay? Because anything longer than that I felt was just too long. Anything shorter just didn't give me enough time. So I'd put it in for 7 days. I would probably run it, actively run it for 5, and then I would turn off all the ads and just let social proof take over, and I would still get, you know, 5, 10, 20 sales depending on how many clicks we sent at it. Okay? Obviously just click that and then launch your campaign. So that's nice and easy, right? Now that is the Teespring side of things. I'm going to hop over and show you what I would do on the Facebook side of things. So I'm in Facebook now, and I'm just going to do my best to go through and show you a couple of the campaigns that I ran. So you can see I like to keep my Facebook ads account clean, which is why I delete all my campaigns when I'm done with them. It obviously it still keeps everything, it just takes it off of the front desk so it's not so cluttered, right? But you can see what my ad spend is looking like. So 365, 128, 295, 273, 534. You can see we have a ton of campaigns. This is, you know, one page of 218 results, or sorry, one page of 50 results of 218 results. Okay, so this is how many campaigns you need to run if you want to make big money with Facebook, Teespring, any sort of CPA, anything like that. Okay, now I'm just going to dive into a couple of these quickly for you, and I'm going to do my best to link these because, yeah, I'll do my best to link this with the actual amount of money that we earned from these campaigns, just so you can see the correlation there. So I was spending $11.92 per 1,000 impressions. On this campaign, we only did 245 clicks. Now this is for Parsons, so I'm going to come over here just to see if I can find all these campaigns so I can show you my campaigns. Okay, so that only sold 3. Okay, so I sent 295 clicks to that, and I sold 3. Okay, that cost me, those three sales cost me a good amount of money. All right, so you can see, well, $31.03. So 245 clicks. Obviously, those are total clicks, social clicks included. 97 of those went directly to the website. We got some, you know, a good amount of shares and comments and everything. We got 56 out of 245 were shares, which is good. A good amount of thumbs up. So if I would have ran this for a few more days, it probably would have taken over. The social aspect would have taken over, and we would have gotten a good amount of sales, but it didn't happen to work out. Okay, so at least you can see a failing campaign. Well, it wasn't really failing. It was kind of a 0% ROI at that point. But you can see a campaign that didn't really take off. Now, this one, you can see the potential audience for this ad is 7,000 people. Okay, so that was the size of the custom audience. Okay, we're paying 25 cents per website click. My CPC, as always, is 50 cents. And if you've seen any of my videos, all of my campaigns start at 50 cents, and then if I'm getting a good amount of clicks, I'll scale that down to 45 and then 40 and down and down and down until I see that breaking point where the clicks really drop off, because I don't want that, obviously. I'd rather pay more per click and get more clicks than pay less per click and get, you know, a couple of clicks here and there. So this is another one. You can see the exact same ad layout. Keep calm and drink like a Stapleton. Looking back at this, these shirts should have been bigger. Okay, this should have been blown right up so that this was huge. Okay, my text should have covered like this whole square right here, but for some reason I didn't do that. I would target the United States and Canada, 18 years of age and older. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you're doing anything about drinking on Facebook, where they seem to clamp down on this towards the end, but if you're doing anything about drinking, then the age needs to be the drinking age of all of the countries that you're targeting. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We would only do newsfeed. We would do desktop computers and mobile devices. All right. I found that mobile devices worked better, but it seemed you would get more clicks on mobile devices, but more buys compared to the clicks on desktop computers. Okay, and then for our description, this is what I always do. I just write out what's on the shirt. Keep calm and drink like a Stapleton. Nice and easy. You know, this girl loves George Strait. Whatever. This Texas girl loves being a nurse, or whatever you feel like putting on a shirt. And then I'd say tee and hoodie and tank, special $10 off right now. Get $10 off right now. Get $10 off. Click here. This is what I would go with. for every single ad. Why would I do that? Because this is what I want them to click. Okay? I don't want them to click here or anywhere else. I want them to click here or the image, because that's going to forward them directly to my page. Okay? So every single time it would say get $10 off, click here. Or in here I would say keep calm and drink like a Stapleton. Tea, hoodie, and tank specials, $10 off right now, click the image below. And then down here I'd say click the image above, or click the image, or something similar to that, because that's the thing that's going to forward them directly to my page. Okay, so this is a Stapleton. Let's go over here, see how we did. I have no idea, I don't remember. This could be a failure too. So 15, I would have started this at 30 and lowered it down. Okay, so for Stapleton 15, I spent 55 and I would have made $150. So I only made $100 on that. So not a great winner, but still not bad. Now we're getting into the bigger campaigns. I opened a bunch of these just so you can see them. So audience size 17,000. Okay, same ad, same everything, right? Caldwell, that's the only difference. We sent 898 website clicks. We spent $277. Everything else is the exact same. You can see when you blow shirts up like this, this is one of the key points to take away from this, is blow your shirts up. Make that design as big as possible. If you want, take just the square that Teespring gives you. I'm not sure if they still do, but this square right here, take that and put it in the graphic too. Put it down here, or blow that bad boy up right there, right? Because that's what you want people to see. You want them to see that graphic, okay? So that's why we're getting, because they can read this, that's why we're getting our 15 or our 14% click-through rates. Some of this is going to come from it being hyper-targeted by using the name, but a lot of it is the actual graphic, okay, and us catching their eye, all right? Because if we don't catch their eye, they're not going to see their name anyway, right? Now, 898 clicks, Caldwell, let's go over and see how we did. So 124 of 30. So, wrong one, I'll just close that. Caldwell cost me $277, right? Where were we? Anyway, cost me $277. I made 124 sales, which is the equivalent of roughly, would we increased our prices, because I showed you, we increase our prices on the hoodies and the long sleeve shirts. So that would bump this. This would probably would have paid out around $1,500, something like that. Okay. Now, Carrie, again, and if you can't tell, I'm just going through progressively and getting bigger and bigger campaigns. So this one was 15,000 people. Same everything over here. We did 1,100 clicks. Cost us $483. Carrie, let's see how that turned out. 130 sales. Okay. So 130 sales on $483 in. So 483 in, probably about $1,500 out. So we made about $1,100 on that campaign. Not bad, right? So 200% ROI. I'll take a 200% ROI all day on campaigns that I can spend $500 on and keep profitable. If I can make a 3,000% ROI on a campaign that I can spend, you know, $8 or $10 on a day and not scale it anywhere past that, I would take this over that any day. All right, let's go to another one. So this is Donovan, 1,500 website clicks, page likes. You can see I do website clicks. I don't like to do page post engagement because I'm not going to do anything with this page when I'm done. This page is simply a medium for me to deliver a newsfeed ad. Okay, so sorry, all my things are going crazy here. So 1,572 website clicks for Donovan. Everything's the same over here, the exact same. You can see that. And then we'll come over and we'll look not sure if it was spelled this way or not. There we go. 222 shirts sold. Okay, that's Carrie. You can close that. Donovan, 222 shirts sold, cost me $5,300. $531. I probably made $2,500. Okay, so 400% ROI across $500 spent. Can't beat that, right? It doesn't get any better than that. Well, it does, but you know, that was still a really good campaign. This one, I kind of screwed up, but it's a learning experience at the same time. So you can see I ran this one twice, right? First one, I spent $666 on, gave me 1,700 clicks. My average website click was 38 cents. We got almost a 13.5% click-through rate, and this sold. Actually, I'll show you both of them because I relaunched it, obviously. This isn't anything, don't worry about that. It was these two shirts. So the first one sold 309 copies. 309 shirts for this one down here. So 309 in 1,711 clicks. So we spent $666 and we made about $4,500, I believe. And then where I screwed up is this is when I wasn't redirecting. Now the good thing about redirecting is I can relaunch a campaign quickly. I don't have to contact a rep or anything, any of that silly stuff that Teespring's way behind on. But I can relaunch a campaign, go into my pretty links or my link tracker or whatever I'm using for redirecting, sub out the link in there, and then I can still use the exact same ad with the same social proof. You can see 284 shares, 955 likes, and 240 comments. It doesn't get any better than that. If I could have used this again, you could see how many we got here. This would have been this. If I didn't do this ad and I just used it here, we would have gotten way more than this, because it's already across 10,000, 20,000 people's desks, right? Because we have the shares, we have the comments, we have everything else. Everything to make it a good social campaign. So I can turn this off with 3 days left and I can still sell 50 more shirts, right? And if I sell 50 more shirts with my ad turned off, that $500 or $600 or $700 that I make on those 50 shirts is an insane ROI, obviously, because we're not spending any money. That's all organic sales. Okay, so that's where I screwed up. So if you're going to do anything like this, make sure you don't screw up the same way that I did. But you can see the second one, we still ran it pretty well. $248 spent, 59 shirts sold, so that would have given me about $700 back. So I made $500, right? So that's what you need to do. You have to scale by, obviously, scalable variables. Okay? So focus on states, focus on professions, focus on things like that. Things that you can scale quickly, you can sub out quickly, and they're infinitely scalable. If you can find two infinitely scalable variables that don't trademark infringe and will convert, and you can get cheap clicks for them, then you can make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. Okay? So if you have any questions, get a hold of me on Skype or get a hold of me on Facebook or wherever you can get a hold of me, and I'll try to answer them one-on-one. So feel free to hit me up anytime. If I can set aside time to get on a call with you, I'll do that. If I can't, then I'll just answer everything through actual text messages, and we'll go from there. Alright, so again, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Skype. Alright guys, so that's all I did. Teespring made over $150,000 in a month, just over a month. And it was a lot easier than you would think, just because how I built it, right? So how I templated everything and everything that I basically described in the video. So I hope you enjoyed the case study. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, leave them in the comments box below. If you look on the right side of the blog, you'll see Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and something else, YouTube. So feel free to connect with me on all 4 of those social sites. If you want to get a hold of me quickly, tweet me. I'm still getting used to it. It's been a while now, but I'm still getting used to it. But I will get back to you as soon as I can, and make sure that I answer all the questions that you have. All right, so thanks again for checking out the blog. Leave a question or comment, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.